So, I would like to tell you all about an interesting phrase that my son said earlier this afternoon, or morning, or whenever it was. It's something that completely caught me off guard. I had been kind of upset by something he had done, and I took the time out to help him with his feelings. But after he was calm and after he was had a chance to deal with his feelings, afterwards I realized how much I had resented having to take the time out to not get the task done or the project done not the task project, but that I had not had the chance to do what I had wanted to do and possibly missed out on that chance. And I was feeling a little bit of resentment. And so, because in our family we talk about our feelings, we don't hide our feelings from each other, I let him know, okay, now that we've gotten to help you with your feelings, now I'd like some help with my feelings because I am feeling a lot of rage, and not rage, but resentment. I was feeling a lot of resentment at the time. I was feeling uncomfortable with how I was feeling at the loss of not getting to do what I had wanted to do. And he said a phrase to me that was the most I've never heard. It was the most profound statement to me, and I have never heard anybody ever say this to anybody else. I hear people say, how can I help you? Or what can I do for you? Or I'm here for you? Or how do people phrase it? I'm here if you need anything. What can I do for you? And often he used to say things like that too to me. It's like, okay, here, Mom, I'm here for you. What can I do for you? How can I help? And I'm accustomed to hearing that, and yes, it's always helpful to hearing that, but he said something just a little bit different that I had never heard before, and I don't know if it was the shock of hearing it or what he said or what, but all of a sudden I stopped being angry. I stopped feeling resentment. Any negative feeling I had was completely gone. And the phrase he said was something like, and actually I don't know the exact words he used, but it was something like, how can I help you with your feelings? Or what can I do to help you with your feelings? And that was so, it was sort of like, oh, wow, somebody's recognizing that I need help with my feelings. It's okay to need help with my feelings. I'm having feelings. Somebody cares about my feelings, or something. I don't know, but I don't know if it was the shock or what. It was just, all of a sudden, I stopped feeling resentment and anger and annoyance. I felt just peace and love and awe. And I realized that his phrase, I wish everybody said phrases like that to each other. I wish, instead of saying to each other, oh, how can I help you, how can I help you, which is difficult to say when the other person is angry, especially with bullies, or with, especially with bullies. It's really hard, or especially with people who are really, really, really upset, and they're throwing out all this anger and lashing out. Pausing for a minute to gather my thoughts. I wish everybody said that phrase, except there's only one problem. That phrase wouldn't work if the other person didn't understand what they were feeling. And all of a sudden it dawned on me how few people actually know how they're feeling. Yeah, they might know that they're happy or sad. They might know that they're positive or negative. And even though I've been exposed to a lot of feeling vocabulary, oftentimes, unless I've got the list right in front of me, right in the heat of the moment, that's usually still all I know is, am I on the positive side or on the negative side? Am I feeling happy, pleased, excited, or whatever? Usually, I often don't remember my own feelings vocabulary that I was taught over the last 5 years. 10 years. Actually, yeah, because we first read the book about feelings and needs when Kiddo was 1, and all of a sudden it dawned on me how I don't have a feelings vocabulary, and so I posted feelings vocabulary lists all over the house. Each room has a feelings vocabulary, so that when people are upset, they can go to the list and find out what they're feeling. And I found out for myself that I used to have these horrible anxiety attacks, and I found out that, well, of course I was having all these anxiety and panic attacks because I would go to the list and I was feeling like 30 feelings, and I was like, oh, all right, well, let's see how we can narrow it down to 1 or 2 feelings. But the bigger thing was not knowing why I was having those feelings. Even the people who might know what they're feeling, they might not know why they're feeling what they're feeling, and feelings confuse them. And there's this old saying that men are confused by feelings because they're not taught how to have feelings. They're not taught how to listen to themselves to have feelings. And I've read some books on the importance of emotional intelligence. I don't remember all of the lessons I learned from them, but it definitely, I highly suggest you read books out there on the reason why it's important to have emotional intelligence. But not only do you need to know what feeling you're having, but why you're having it, to recognize that feelings are just signals. They're car signals on your car. You have a car, or if you have a car, and the red light blinks, letting you know it's out of fuel. That's all an emotion is. An emotion is a little red light blinking to let you know whether or not you think that you've gotten a need met or not. That's all an emotion is. You feel happy when you think you've gotten your needs met. You feel negative when you think you're angry, resentful, anger, rage, but all the negative lists when you think that you haven't gotten a need met. It's not whether you actually got the need met or not. It's whether your perspective is such that you think that you haven't gotten that need met. And the other big problem is that most people don't even know the difference between needs and wants. You do not need to go to the store. You need food and nutrients. I guess you don't actually need food. You could have liquids. You need nutrients. Your strategy is that you would like to use to get that food. You want to go to the store. There are many other ways to get food. But want is when you have strategies. Need is one of the base needs that every single person in the universe has. Every single creature in the universe has. Although there's a needs list for that. There's the basic needs that every creature has, and then there's a debate of whether or not other animals have some of the more advanced needs, like needing affection and needing well, actually, a lot of scientific proof now showing that even animals need affection and there's a long list. And if you go to the NVC site, there is a long list of needs that they've come up with that people need that are universal for all cultures. I don't particularly 100% agree with everything on their list, because there are a few things on their list that I don't like being on their list because of the fact that I find that other people will go to some of these words, and two of them are space and freedom. They say, oh, I need space, I need freedom. Oh, I need space and I need freedom. But my observation has been that the only reason why they would need space or freedom is because one of the other needs are not getting met. And so for me, space and freedom are overlaying our surface needs and not in-depth needs. And so I always remove them from my list that I give to people, because I don't want people to just give me their surface needs. I want people to give me what their deeper need is. Why would they need space? And in every single situation I've ever observed, it's always because they're not getting some other need met. And something I found for everybody, almost all the needs that they think they're not getting met really always boils down to they don't think the other person cares about them. So for me, in my own observations of people, it really all boils down to whether or not they think that the other person cares about them. So for me, emotions are just letting you know whether or not you think the other person is caring about you. So when you're feeling a negative need or negative feeling, it's most likely because you think that the other person doesn't care. And when you're having a positive feeling, it's because you think that you're caring about yourself or you feel cared about. But that's an oversimplification and overgenerality, and there is a lot of debate upon that, and I am not even sure if that is my final conclusion. That is just my temporary possible hypothesis observation, just based off of my observations of people the last 3 years. And I think I might also be a little bit narrow in my thinking of how that works. Thank you for letting me share my thoughts with you. I hope to redo this podcast a little bit better later, and I'm sorry for the shakiness of it. Hopefully when you listen to it, you just weren't listening, you weren't watching it, you were just listening. You can put your opinions and thoughts on the debates below, in the comments below. I am probably not going to get involved in the conversation. I think it's in my best interest if I don't, because I feel very passionately and I would spend way too much time having arguments with people about it. So I think what I would do is just maybe make a future video with my opinions and thoughts on it. I don't know. I haven't decided. I just wanted to get this out into the universe about a wish and a desire for schools and parents and education centers and teachers and administration and jobs and companies to start emphasizing the importance of learning about emotions. 1, learning why you have emotions. 2, and learning to ask each other, how can I help you with your feelings? Instead of saying, what can I do there? What can I do for you? But the first two have to happen first, I think, in my opinion. All right, well, that's just my thoughts. I hope that, I don't know, much hope and much love, and I give everyone a big hug. Big hug, everyone. Night. Or, I don't know, that feels weird. Just much love. Much love. Please check in with your bodies and do a big stretch and go see if you need a glass of water. And please listen to your body and listen to your needs. And just listen to your heart. And please go buy a book on learning about emotions. Thank you.